Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking Around the World with AZ Entertainment. I'm sorry, it's the first time I'm saying that. I have to get used to it. As part of the AZ network of cooking people, and that would be I'm one of those. And chefs, cooks around the world, all over. We're going to bring it to you and bring it to you live. And hopefully we'll talk about some traditions that everyone has in their part of the world for cooking. And let me run down our wonderful panel of guests today. And of course we have Azlin Bloor, and she's going to be cooking for us, and she's going to be cooking a Kedgeree.
Yes.
Woohoo! I remembered it. And then Candy Sakai from Japan is with us. And we have AJ cooking from Conjure Up the Food, and she's going to be making something for us too in a little bit. And Cook with Sally is here. And of course my dear Maggie Unzweta, who you see on Good Day Google Plus all the time with me. So we have a full house for you today, and we've got some wonderful things planned for today and then for the rest of December. So thank you so much for joining us. And right now I'm going to turn it over to Azlin as she prepares her dish for you.
Hi folks, I'm Azlin Bloor, as you know. Right, so we're going to get started with the series that Chef and I are doing with an Anglo Indian dish called Kedgeree. It's got a long history going back to the British Raj days, it started with a lentil type rice dish that the Indians had, and the Brits took it back, brought it back to the UK, turned it to suit their taste with butter and just a hint of curry powder, and turned it into what it is today. Now the underlying taste of Kedgeree is smoked haddock, smoked fish, boiled eggs, and a touch of curry powder. That is essentially what you get, the flavor profile from a Kedgeree. Now I'm cooking this because over the years this has become a tradition in our house on Boxing Day. You know, after the heavy food of Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, just a light rice dish for brunch, lunch, does us perfectly well. Now, the full recipe is on linsfood.com, but it is also going to be in my new ebook of recipes that's going to be out sometime next week. So I'm going to get started. Now, just as I get the pan to heat up, I'll just briefly go through the ingredients with you. We've got rice, of course, basmati rice. And as I mentioned, we've got some curry powder, some flaked smoked haddock. That got simmered away in milk for about 10 minutes, cooled and then flaked up. Some boiled eggs chopped up, and we've got various condiments that I'll talk you through as I'm cooking it. Now, as the pan is heating up, I'll put some butter in there. I know Chef likes to cook with butter. Chef? I think he's miles away. And anybody else likes cooking? Anybody else likes cooking with butter on here?
I love cooking with butter. I'm sorry I was muted.
Oh, don't worry.
It takes me a while sometimes to realize I'm muted.
No, I know. I'll be gesturing away. Why isn't anyone responding to me? Oops, I'm muted.
Yes, I cook a lot with butter.
Me too. I cook a lot with butter.
Everything's better with butter. Since I've been trying to get a little healthier, I have been cooking a little bit less with butter, and the word earth balance has been creeping into my vocabulary, although I haven't bought it yet.
You know what?
Right. Go on, Maggie.
Oh, I was just going to say I've been cooking lately with avocado oil.
Oh, that's lovely. Avocado oil is good for your skin.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're just going to do, standard. It's half Indian and half Western, this rice dish. So we start with a bit of butter and some dry spices. We've got cloves, cardamom, and a touch of cinnamon, and a bay leaf in there as well. So we give it a twirl in the hot fat for about sort of 30 seconds. And we don't want the spices to burn. So what we do is immediately after sort of 30 to 60 seconds, we add something moist in there to bring the heat, the temperature of the fat right down to stop the dry spices from burning. So you saute the onions for about a minute. If you can smell this, yum. And then there's just any sort of generic curry powder will do. Goes in there for the flavor. You mix it all up. And here we've got some rice. Basmati rice is best for this, but really I suppose any long grain rice will suffice. You add the rice into that fat and the spices, and you're going to coat the rice with the spices and the butter. Give it a nice good coat, again, only about 30 seconds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cook this rice with some chicken stock or some vegetable stock and a mixture of the poaching milk, the milk that we poached the haddock with. We make it up to the required amount of water. However you cook your rice, you know, rice is a staple for me, but I'm a huge believer in that there is no single way of cooking rice. The right way of cooking rice is the way you like to cook your rice. That's my belief, my principle. So now we're going to add the required amount of liquid in there. So we've got the poaching milk as well as the stock. We're going to give it a good stir, a pinch of salt, bring it up to boil. I think I'm going to just top that up with a little bit more milk. Bring it to boil and then cook it for about 15 minutes, and then we'll get to the rest of the ingredients to make it the dish that it is.
Do you cover it, Lynn?
No, that's the curry powder that you see. If you see color in there, it's curry powder and turmeric. Curry powder that's slightly heavier on the turmeric. So if you have a generic curry powder, just add an extra pinch of turmeric powder in there because it tastes turmeric heavy, this dish. So it's coming out to boil now. So it wouldn't be Lynn cooking if she didn't forget something. I'll need to go get the saucepan cover. So in the meantime, I'm going to go back to Chef Dennis.
That's what I said. Do you cover it? And you said color, yes.
Oh, cover. I thought you said color. Right.
Cover it. Do you cover it? Sometimes when I cook rice, I cover it.
Yeah, we're going to cover it now. As soon as I get that lid, back to Chef Dennis.
You're muted, Chef.
You're muted, Chef.
We can't hear you.
All right. We have a lot of, we have a lot of people in the audience. Christopher Vogelman's been hammering us with some wonderful comments. We always love to see his. He's almost too quick for me. And Carmen Mandich is in the house. Coach Moore is in the house. And they're all saying, I love this one, though, Christopher. I got to put it up. I eat my peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes my peas taste funny, but it sticks them to my knife. And it's poetic, too. Lynn is back with us.
Right, I've got the lid on. We're going to let it cook for 15 minutes now. So we'll head on over to AJ in Australia.
Sounds good. All right, and we've got AJ coming to us from Australia. And what are you going to do for us today, AJ?
I'm going to do a couple of little things, but, you know, I've prepared earlier, so it should be really easy. The first thing I'm going to do is, what you've got to understand is in Australia, on Christmas Day, it should be about 30 degrees, which is about 85 degrees. Therefore, we've had a tendency to go away from the turkey and the really heavy food. So we do things like we do oysters and we do salmon and things like that because it's a little bit lighter for us and it's really, really, you know, nice way to eat in the summer. Well, you're in Florida, aren't you, Dennis?
I am. I'm in Florida where today we've had rain, but it's about 80 degrees. So.
Ah, right. Well, you can imagine what cooking a turkey in heat like that is. It's something that, you've probably just done it this last week, haven't you?
Yeah, we did, and actually it dropped down. It was down in the 50s and 60s, so it did feel a little more like fall for Thanksgiving for us.
Oh,
but when you go to the beach on Christmas, you know, it's just not.
Yeah, we can. We do.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
No. Now, in Australia, we've got lots of oysters, and I'm an absolute oyster fiend. But I've had a few people say, can you show me how to open one? So what I'll say to you is you need a device like this. This is my 50-year-old Japanese oyster knife, and I'm very fond of it.
Whoops.
Now,
thank you. Thank you.
Now, the fact is, oysters have got a shape like this, and it's the narrow end that you open with. And a lot of people think it's a matter of brute force, and it just isn't. If you get your oyster knife and you always hold it with a towel because that protects you, and you just keep jiggling like this. I bet I've picked a really hard one, by the way. You just keep jiggling like that, and there you go. You find your sweet spot, and it just opens perfectly. As I said, it just opens perfectly. There we go. Now, what you are seeing is a beautifully plump, lovely new, fresh oyster from Australia.
Oh, yum.
And if you turn it like that, you can see, I don't know, can you see how moist that is?
Wow.
Wow, that looks great.
And it's so briny, so absolutely delicious. So I'll do a few more of those for a plate and a bit of a sauce, a bit of a dressing. Now the other thing that I'm going to show you is I've done a little salmon-y thing, and I've prepared one earlier. I've done it in a sausage, but I'll just give you a quick idea. Now, I was going to cure salmon, which is a really, really easy thing to do, and if anybody wants a recipe, I can put it up there for you. But I thought this would be a lot easier. All you do, can you see this? All
Yes.
you do is you put some lovely smoked salmon, try and keep it in sort of some sort of form of, so that it looks like an oblong, and you go like this. So I'd say about 150 grams per person. What
Are you placing them on a layer of cling film, AJ?
Yes, I am. Sorry. Thanks, Azlin.
Okay.
Now, on to that, what we're going to do is I've just zested some lemon, because it's always nice to put a bit of lemon in there. And I'm also going to put a bit of pepper in there.
Okay.
Some lovely pepper and some lemon juice, using your favourite device, Azlin. Dennis, do you have one of these?
I do not. You know, I use a spoon pretty much. I'm old school. I just take a lemon and put a spoon in it.
This kills Azlin. She wants one. I'll get one over.
Yeah, I know. I really need to get one. Every time I see.
Wow.
I grabbed one.
In the Azlin Bloor tradition.
AJ's gone to get something. Sally, I know you love oysters. You have oysters pretty often, don't you?
I did. I went to a festival. They did oyster from every place in the UK, and it was beautiful.
Really?
Now I'm back with some capers.
Okay.
Which are lovely. And the other thing that I need to do is just put a bit of parsley, not too much, but a little bit like that. Now, what this will do is we're going to roll that up. Oh, my Christmas.
What's that?
It's a Christmas elf.
It's an elf.
I thought
Elf on the table.
So that basically what you're going to do is you're going to roll this up so that you've got it sort of in a lovely sausage. I thought this was quite a clever little dish.
Very
and
nice.
so you roll it up like that.
Excellent.
And so you get your sausage and you tighten that up and you whack it in the freezer and it looks like that.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then, very simply,
You shake it up.
Oh.
it's frozen, but it needs to be frozen to keep it together as you chop it. And that won't in any way denigrate what you're doing. But what it does is it allows you to do the most incredibly lovely paper-thin slices.
Beautiful.
You can see here that you end up with a really pretty, I'll show you in a minute.
Oh, that's so nice.
What a
Look,
great
it's just
idea.
a clever little dish. You know me, if I can find an easy way to do something, I'll do it. And so what I would do is I just plate this around, and I'm going to do a little horseradish cream with it,
Excellent.
and a few oysters and that sort of thing. So, all right. So Now, where's your rice up to, Azlin?
This whole barbecue culture at Christmas. Is it true then? Do you guys really do barbecue at Christmas?
Absolutely, because it's just so it's really quite warm, and it's not even the warmth, Azlin. Sometimes it's just so humid you're dripping. And you know, if you're having a big party or something, it's lovely to be able to sort of get out and be outside.
Absolutely.
The only way you can do that is by having something that is really sort of as you would have in the summer over there.
Well, you know, I got my barbecue grill in November last year, and I had a heck of a time doing it because every time we'd ask for things for the summer, we were told it wasn't the season. Which is insane because it's hot in Florida all year.
Absolutely.
Well, exactly. So what do you do about the turkey thing, Dennis?
Well, you know, turkey, you got to have them at Thanksgiving, and we'll probably cook another one for Christmas too, just because it's what we serve. You know, well, during Christmas we're going to do the 7 fishes too, but if we have any people over, we'll have a turkey because people kind of expect it. For me, it's been interesting because I'm gluten-free now, so I had to make a gluten-free stuffing for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Maggie, you've got.
How did you do that?
I'm sorry?
How did you do the gluten-free stuffing?
Well, actually, I just got gluten-free bread and made it exactly like regular stuffing. It wasn't rocket science. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult. The only thing I did add was I added some chicken sausage to it, and I cooked my turkey upside down for an hour and a half, which gave me the moistest turkey I've ever had. And when I took it out to flip it, I stuffed it with my stuffing to give it extra flavor. And
Interesting.
and it tasted better from being inside that. But you know, you open oysters masterfully. I have never been able to open oysters.
Oh, you know why, Dennis? It's a little bit of a boy thing. They're going with such. But it isn't about that at all. In this oyster, there is like you'll find if you just jiggle like this, you'll find there's a sweet spot.
I was very shocked to hear that you can cook them. Sorry.
There we go. So you find a sweet spot, and then the top just flips off.
Yeah, that's
really, really easy. And I think a lot of people worry about opening oysters, and they think, oh my goodness, you know, it's all so difficult. And I remember the first time that I was doing it, I thought, oh no, I'm never going to be able to open this, you know, these 13 dozen oysters for my guests. I'm never going to do that. But as somebody said to me, you just need to calm down and just.
Well, that's definitely what doesn't work with men then, because we tend to attack things, like you said.
Well, that's right. But see here, there's a little hole.
Yeah.
Like it's not a hole, but there's a little crevice.
Little opening.
I can't stress it enough. If you just wiggle it, there we go. We're open again.
See, I've always tried to open them kind of like a clam, and I guess that's why it doesn't work.
You're in Japan. We can have the biggest.
You know, to be honest with you, oh, there we go. So I'll just do a couple of those. I'll eat the others today for lunch. What do you think?
Oh, sounds like a good lunch.
Sounds like a plan. I think Maggie's got some wine for us.
I do. Well, I mean, I know I've been talking about champagne a lot lately, but this one, I mean, just thinking about oysters, yum. I love oysters, but it really does require champagne or some kind of sparkling wine. This one is Reserva. It's another Savour the Flavour. But this one I have to pop out just because look at the presentation on this one. This bottle.
Beautiful.
Crazy, and it's only $20, which is ridiculously inexpensive. But with the oysters, I can't think of anything that would. I mean, it pairs perfectly with oysters. Light, fruity. Prosecco would be another one. Something light like that. The brightness of Prosecco.
Yeah, I like them with Prosecco. They go nice.
Yeah. Same thing with this one. This one's an extra brut. It's very dry. But
I love the bottle.
Oh,
Oh,
wow,
I
that's
love
really
this
It's
bottle.
beautiful bottle. I like it.
Yeah.
Imagine taking this to someone's house and it's only $20. Yeah,
Wow.
Wow, that's not expensive.
it totally looks like a $40, $50 bottle, but it's not. So, yeah.
No.
I'll put this in the comment tracker or the comments.
Show us your bling, Maggie. Show us your bling.
Oh, the single lady.
Oh,
Oh,
we
that's so
do.
lovely. Oh, I wish I could have. I wish I
Do
could
it
have.
slowly. Do it slowly.
It's
Yeah,
really
he did really good.
perfect. Well done.
Well
Perfect.
done, boy.
He
Job
did-
well done.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Earn the Miss America wave.
Wait, but yeah, hold on. So
Yeah.
you have to hear about the GEM membership. So the GEM membership, not GEM membership. Every 5 years, I get a new ring. So
Oh, that's so sweet.
I did really good.
So, want me to do the dressings before we go back to Azlin?
Okay.
Okay. With the oysters, I think they're so briny, I personally wouldn't have them with anything. I just keep lopping them into my mouth. But if you do want a dressing, I've done one here that's quite a pretty little dressing. And all I've done is put a little bit of really finely sliced onion or shallot. If it's an onion, make sure it's a red onion. I've put in some lemon juice. I've put in some little bit of...
Tabasco. I like your Tabasco.
No, I put a bit of pomegranate granada.
Pomegranate juice.
Nice.
Because it dips off and tangs with that quite nicely. And then I've just done a little bit of a chiffonade of parsley, which ties it in with the salmon.
Excellent.
And with the salmon, all I've done is I wanted to do something that had a little bit of bite, so I've got some fresh horseradish, just crushed horseradish, and I just mixed it with a non-fat yogurt. You could use a creme fraiche, but the sort of yogurt will work quite well as well.
Oh, yum.
You know? Because honestly, what I've got on the plate here, which will, again be my breakfast at 7 a.m., which I know sounds bizarre, but it will be. With that, that's actually quite a healthy little dish.
You got me drooling over here, AJ.
Have I? That's the intention. So what I didn't put, because it is so early, I meant to, and I didn't put some olive oil in. I couldn't work out why when I was putting it on it wasn't like dripping. Because it's just a little bit slow. So that and a few capers, and to be honest with you, that would be like a really nice sort of mid-morning snack before lunch or
Yeah.
Yum.
whatever. But
Lunch.
Yeah, brunch. Yeah. Perfect.
something, just a bit of. But the whole thing is that we keep it. If we do have dinner, we have it at night so that it's cooler, and then we can have our sort of turkey and on the Down Under show, Azlin, I'm going to be doing the Australian dessert.
Cool. Of the ballerina dessert.
A classic Australian dessert.
Yay.
So, is that really
Can you lift it up? We can't see it. I can't see it.
Just that's it. Perfect.
Perfect. Beautiful.
fabulous? So it's really easy. It's really simple. Everything I cook is simple. Well, that was no cooking, was it?
Good.
Hey, it worked.
But it's
It worked.
delicious. And give it a try because it's nice as an entree anyway.
Absolutely.
Yes, I love it. It's lovely.
Thank you so much.
Really
You're
nice.
making me jealous.
Thank you, Dennis. Lovely. Vanessa?
Right. We'll come back. We'll come back to the UK then, shall we? From Australia.
Well, I'm picking your rice if you've done by now.
Yeah, it is. So the rice itself is done. It's fully cooked. Okay, so that's the basic rice. Remember, we had some spices in there, and we had cardamom, cloves, cinnamon, bay leaves. So the rice itself is done. So that's the base. to this, we are going to add the smoked haddock that we poached earlier. We're going to add to that, and we're going to add the chopped up boiled eggs. Remember earlier on, right at the start, I said the underlying flavor profile for this dish is the smoked fish, the boiled eggs, and the touch of curry powder. We've got some peas, and we've got lemon juice. So now what we do is the rice was fluffed up as soon as it finished cooking, about 15 minutes. And we're just going to mix all this in. So at this stage, the rice is fully cooked. We're going to mix it all in, and we're going to put the lid back on. Ordinarily, put the lid back on, let everything cook away for another 5 minutes, essentially to heat everything up right through. 5 minutes, and that's it. This is, you're right, this is what Kedgeree is. It's yellow. It's yellow. It's got dashes of green from the peas. It's got, you can taste a hint of curry in there and turmeric, and you've got the combination of smoked fish and boiled eggs. It really is wonderful. So that's it. This is your rice dish. Great color to begin with. And we finish it off with, you know, if you think that's too dry, what my kids like to do is they because we have this on Boxing Day and at Easter as well, actually. If you think that's too dry, just pour some leftover gravy from the day before, from your Christmas dinner. And then we just get some chopped up parsley that refuses to be chopped up. Parsley and coriander. Okay, parsley and coriander, and then perhaps some slices of lemon for everyone to squeeze onto their rice, and some slices or quartered boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
that yellow and white and green works really well.
And some cucumber. And then, you know, if you're a mango chutney fan, just add some mango chutney if you want to. And there we go. That's it.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
That's Kedgeree. After a heavy meal on Christmas, you know, this is perfect. This is really perfect. There we go. Anglo Indian, of Anglo Indian descent, soon to be found on Simply Singapore, the cookbook, coming out next week.
Now, would it be bad form to add a little, like a cucumber sour cream dressing on that? Or?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think to each his own. For me, this is perfect as it is because it's brunch, so it's perfect. It's light. But my husband does prefer a little bit more on it. No, I don't think so. In fact, coleslaw, Chef, I know you like coleslaw. Coleslaw on the side, yeah, and some, you know, or an actual full-blown salad, dressed up salad to go with it. And personally, I've had this with some rather dashing divers who work for Jacques Cousteau in Singapore on Boxing Day. I've had that particular dish in a restaurant or hotel actually, and they had oysters and smoked salmon on the side, and we ate it all together, and that was a Sunday brunch during the festive period. So yeah, you know, it goes with so much.
I mean, I think you'd agree, Azlin, that the whole thing with food is you've got the flexibility to do anything to your own taste, and that's really important because if you become too rigid with food, you're doing yourself out of a fabulous time. You know, just because rules are there doesn't mean that you can't break them to your palate.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So what? So Chef is making turkey. Maggie, what are you doing on Christmas Day?
Maggie?
Maggie.
Is muted.
You might be froze.
Oh, okay. Sally, you're doing a few things, aren't you?
I'm going to see my son in Hong Kong, and then for Christmas, Boxing Day, then we go into Bali. So I'm not cooking.
Oh, cool. Nice.
That's
Oh, I'm so
right.
happy.
Hours away. Come on down.
Yeah, that's
First
far away,
time,
isn't it?
next time. for 33 years I'm not cooking Christmas, so to me it's like heaven. It's nice.
Wow. Candy, what are you doing for Christmas? Going out?
Well, yeah, I'm bringing up my my traditional, half Japanese and half my Filipino, my special traditional dessert, and this will be a big punch. That all through the way I'm cooking this every Christmas season, and it's totally different from the Japanese side. I just
Cool.
blend it anyway.
Sounds lovely.
It is.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you can have both two ways with that. Actually,
Cool.
that will be a surprise.
Looking forward to it. Chef, back to you, Chef.
Yeah, I used to like to make duck for that time of year, but my wife is not fond of duck, so we don't have duck.
I love that.
Oh,
Does
you
7 fishes.
you have to hear this, okay? I love cooking goose. So I've been making goose for Christmas for so many years. And then one year I actually sort of sat at the dinner table, Christmas table, and said, oh, goose, something, whatever, whatever. What? It's goose? I don't like goose. My husband goes. But dear, that's what we've been having for the last few years.
You worse than me.
Yeah.
Maggie, what you doing for Christmas, Maggie?
Well, usually so we celebrate on the 24th. So usually, if I was in Mexico, we have a different story. In Mexico, we have midnight mass, so we stay up until midnight. Since we don't really have that here, we end up doing is we go to my uncle's house. He lives about 2.5 hours away. We stay up until midnight. Then at midnight, Merry Christmas, everyone, blah, blah, blah. But usually the food, tamales, of course, tamales and buñuelos, which are amazing. It's basically fried dough sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar. And depends on where in Mexico you're from, because some people will put like honey on it, which is delicious as is. Fried dough. What else do we do? Buñuelos, tamales. Oh, I can't stress how much tamales everywhere. People are making tamales.
Do you do any sweet tamales that time of year?
We do sweet tamales. Any kind of tamales. Yeah. We have bean tamales, rajas, which are delicious. Rajas is a chili, so it's just slices of chili with cheese in them. So you have the tamale masa, then you open it up, and all the gooey cheese is coming out. Yeah, sorry, that just sounds amazing. I was telling you, Chef, earlier, out by where my uncle lives in Palm Springs, they do a yearly tamale festival. I guess it's a cook-off, but I'm pretty sure it's a festival where you find everything under the sun. And that was the first time I ever tasted a lobster tamale. So that was just mind-blowing, amazing. But yeah, corn tamales. Corn tamales. Those are my favorite. I'm salivating just watching your food and AJ's food. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. By 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Jesus Christ. How can I stand that?
I'm the only one who's in the morning, so you can all go and eat your little heads off.
I'm going crazy. Well, here in Japan, actually, we started Christmas Day on the 23rd. This is very interesting. Because why? It's the Emperor's birthday. Yes, every Japanese start their Christmas season on the 23rd, running 3 days, 23, 24, and 25. So, which means to say we have 3 days of Christmas Day. And by the 24th, it's a rush. So, yeah, it is really crazy about here. We're starting. Yeah,
I just have a little. This is
it's starting with the Emperor. The late Emperor, anyway. Respectable.
Sorry, AJ, what were you saying?
I just meant to say to you, I put these on the table because, to me, this represents summer in Australia. Our gardenias are out, so we've got gardenias everywhere. So every time you walk down a street and brush past a bush, you've got the most amazing smell. And we've also got hydrangeas, which are really pretty. But they're very, very Australian summer, very Australian Christmas.
Yeah, here as well.
Do you have
Christmas?
Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Chef, you were saying?
No, I was going to ask AJ, do you have any poinsettia growing in Australia in the summer?
Yep. We get that too.
Because that was the funniest thing for me to see that in Florida, that they're selling ones that you can plant for the winter time down here because they'll actually grow. So.
They're very hard to look after. They're not easy to look after.
We have them in San Diego too.
We just have them in the garden.
Do you? Interesting. Righty-ho, Chef. Shall we call it a night?
I think so. It's been an excellent show. I know you guys want to dig into what you've made and eaten, and we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of Christmas Around the World, and I hope to see you there. So thank you all so much for coming today, and for those of you that watched, thank you, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Hopefully see everybody on